Alright, in this video we have 6 things I wish Infinity Ward would have done with Modern Warfare during its life cycle. This is just a video about longing. I'm just sitting here, basically thinking about what could have been, so don't take it too seriously. Some of the stuff in here is silly, some of it's a little bit more practical, so let's just get on with number 1. First things first, I think Infinity Ward should have taken all of the door-related feedback and just made the doors destructible. There's no way that Infinity Ward didn't know that Treyarch was making the doors destructible in the Fireteam mode in Black Ops Cold War. You know, I feel like the developers talk and communicate. I'm sure some Treyarch devs saw how much hate people were giving Modern Warfare's multiplayer over the doors that are scattered around the map. So I think Treyarch should have been like, hey, make the doors destructible. I think it would have worked. Nothing fancy, just the ability to knock them off their hinges or blow them apart entirely. So like a wooden door would get blown apart entirely, and a metal door would get knocked off its hinges and fall over. Also, I think including windows on the doors would have been a good fix, like big, hardy windows on almost all of the doors. So yeah, they're a head glitch, but they're a head glitch you can shoot through. I think FMJ should have been able to go through metal doors. There's lots of different things they could have done, but I think just the ability to, you know, take it out with a Simtex or a C4. You could even make it so the grenade launcher has a weird, unrealistic quirk where the grenade launcher grenade is the only explosive in the game that's able to completely decimate a door in one shot, making those actually viable because they weren't throughout the entire life cycle because they're not very good. So that's the first thing I wish they did. The next thing is kind of silly, but I wish they would have added the option to run iron sights on the snipers. I know, this is mundane, but one of the things I do actually like about Cold War is that I can run iron sights on all the sniper rifles, and I wish I could do the same in Modern Warfare. The idea of using an iron-sighted HDR or AX50 just sounds like a lot of fun. I think I actually might have enjoyed the SVD more if it had an iron-sighted option or the ability to run a red dot, but it couldn't, so that's kind of a miss in my opinion. Modern Warfare's weapon customization is a lot of fun. In fact, my last live stream that I did on this channel here, you guys can watch those, hit the bell icon to get notified when they go live, but I was live streaming just weird classes and I had the thought again, you know, I really wish I could run iron-sighted SVD, iron-sighted AX50, iron-sighted Rytech. I think that would be fun and enjoyable, and it sucks that the marksman rifles got that ability, but not the snipers. This game is chocked full of sort of unnecessary customization, so I don't know why I couldn't take the scope off my snipers. Speaking of customization, I think a lot of people are going to relate to this one. I don't know why we never saw a drum mag or a fully automatic conversion for the X16 handgun. I personally don't like this handgun very much because, in all practicality, in most engagements, I would just rather have an M19, and yeah, I just didn't enjoy the X16 because the M19 existed. Then the Renetti got added, I fell in love with the Deagle, and then now we have the Psychov, and there's just, in my opinion, very little reason to run the X16, but I think it would be really cool if one of the barrels made it fully automatic, and you could equip a drum mag and a stock. Basically what we have with the Psychov, but on a platform that's more visually familiar. I mean, Infinity Ward thought the G18 was iconic enough to be one of the classic weapons in Infinite Warfare, so I'm really not sure why it wasn't a mainstay, a starting weapon in Modern Warfare. I just really don't understand that. It just seems like a no-brainer to have that conversion kit in the game for the X16, especially when they were clearly okay with adding a fully automatic stocked fucking drum mag handgun. So yeah. The next 3 things I think are way more practical when it comes to moment-to-moment engagements. First things first, make the Ghost perk work like Black Ops 2. Modern Warfare not showing unsuppressed weapon fire on the minimap was already a bit of a miss in my opinion, but having the Ghost perk work even if you're laying in a corner, that was a really bad idea. I don't know why they thought they needed to do that. It's just a terrible concept, especially when the community, the player base, they complain about camping so much. I don't know why you would make that decision. The UAV should be your cue to move around the map more freely, and when people could just be potentially holding still and locking down an angle, not showing up on your UAV, I feel like that's a bad, horrible game design decision, so I really wish that the Ghost perk only worked when moving. And these next 2 things that I'm going to mention work together. I want a perk in Modern Warfare that allows me to use 8 weapon attachments, similar to the wildcard in Black Ops Cold War that allows you to do the same thing. This would be pretty powerful in Modern Warfare, so I do think it should take up a perk slot, something in either tier 1 or tier 3. But you know, more specifically, I think it should take up tier 2. But we'll get to that in a second here. Basically, Modern Warfare's class customization, its weapon customization, is my favorite in the entire series. In fact, out of most AAA shooters I've played, it's just my favorite. I enjoy logging onto the game just to make weird and interesting classes and play with things that I haven't played with before and try combinations that I haven't tried before. You can get really creative and cursed with your weapon builds in Modern Warfare, and I really appreciate that about a game, especially a game like Call of Duty that benefits from little things. Just taking your M4's barrel and shortening it and putting in a different caliber round is enough to make a couple matches stand out from the rest, and just to feel a little bit more like you have agency, like you're controlling the weapon in your hands. You're really deciding how it's going to play, and that level of creativity being allowed just makes a game like Call of Duty so much more replayable, and the ability to have 8 attachments would keep me playing for another year, to be honest. I'm not even lying, because I don't like Black Ops Cold War mainly, but really, just the ability to, like, I don't know, an 8 attachment Odin, like what would that be like? I'm just trying to think, and there's really no way for me to go play with that, and that kind of sucks. But I think that perk that gives you the option for extra attachments should be in tier 2. And I think it should replace Point Man. Point Man was a perk that basically turned your kill streaks into score streaks, which could be good for certain strategies, but ultimately was kind of a poop idea. You didn't really need to do that. Infinity Ward, having your kill streaks be based in score instead of kills means you have to work harder. So using Point Man means you are giving up a tier 2 perk and you have to work harder, and you have to play the objective harder if you really want to make that perk earn its money. I think a gunfighter perk there would be much better, and Point Man can just go die. It was a useless perk. I don't think it was a good idea to have it in the game. The trade-off is just too high, especially with how powerful Ghost is. But either way, I think they should have scrapped kill streaks and switched the entire game over to the score streak system, get rid of the Point Man perk, and add a gunfighter perk. Just that change alone does so much to the replayability and camper problem. So when people have to get up off their ass and go play an objective to get good score, then you get more people doing that. If they feel like they can sit in a corner and earn a VTOL, which I did multiple times throughout the game's life cycle just to be a dick and make people mad, you know, people are gonna do that. They're going to camp for their streaks if dying knocks them off their streak entirely anyway. You know, that's how it should be. But when they're not really rewarded for playing the objective, can you really blame them for avoiding it? I think matches of Domination Hardpoint Headquarters would be so much more interesting and fun if I was rewarded for taking that initiative, not just with XP, but with an actual progression towards my score streak. And yeah, I could have just equipped Point Man, but then I don't have Ghost, I can't have Hardline, and that just sucks. I think score streaks and point streaks are just better ideas than kill streaks, so that's what I think they should have done. I think just that switcheroo, having a gunfighter perk for extra attachments and having score streaks instead of kill streaks, would make Modern Warfare a miles better game. On top of that, a ghost perk that only works when moving, and destructible doors, I think Modern Warfare would have been a way bigger home run with the entire player base. The maps already allowed for a multitude of playstyles, same with the weapon and loadout customization. So, what was left was the awkwardness of having Ghost work all the time, unsuppressed fire not show up on the minimap, doors being doors, I don't know, doors didn't bother me throughout the life cycle. I just really wanted a change because of how many people were complaining, and I feel like when you complain that much, then you should probably be heard. But Infinity Ward's kind of on my shit list because I feel like I kind of just designed a better Modern Warfare in a lot of ways. There are other things about Dead Silence and weapon balance and perk balance and lethals and tacticals that I would have changed, but those are the main 6. Yeah, Iron-Sighted Snipers is on here and Dead Silence being changed isn't. That's because personally I like Dead Silence as a field upgrade. I like that mechanic in the game. I know, crucify me, but here's the thing. I still think Dead Silence should have been a perk because everybody was asking for it to be. At least everybody that was giving feedback that I saw was asking for Dead Silence to be a perk, so I do think Dead Silence and Amplify should have been in the game, but I didn't mind it as a field upgrade, so it didn't make the list. So just, you know my opinion, but you also know my list. So either way, let me know what things you wish Infinity Ward would have done during Modern Warfare's life cycle. Let me know what would have made you happier, what would have made you keep playing, what would have made you play longer. Let me know down in the comment section below. And I'm already predicting a lot of if they would have removed skill-based matchmaking comments. Yeah, good luck with that. See you when I see you.